Hello everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I am Reverend Jamie, owner of the Sages Circle and Sanctuary. And even though we all wanted to be in person today, I think Mother Nature had different plans for us as the shop is still without power due to the storm. So I'd still like to thank everybody for being here with me virtually on this snowy Palm Sunday as we explore palms in a new light than maybe some of you are used to. This will not be a full service because we just don't have everybody here with us. So it's just going to be me sharing the message for you today. I'd like to still give a shout out to those wonderful people that should have been our special guests today, which would have been James Simons, who was all ramped up and ready to go if it were not for the fact that we do not have power, and to our ASL interpreter, Carol, who is home dealing with a tree through her house. So let's give some good energy out to her, send it her way. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about the powerful symbolism of the palm, which you can see behind me, and how they were used in different cultures and faiths, and their symbolism and how it relates to our lives today. And let's see, so the palm branch or the palm frond is really a symbol of victory and triumph, peace and eternal life, originating in ancient Eastern religions, Mediterranean religions, those parts of the world. The palm was sacred in Mesopotamia religions, and in ancient Egypt, it represented the sun and immortality. We think of palm trees, most of us think about sandy beaches and sunny skies, kind of unlike the weather that we're having right now during our crazy spring weather. I think that we instinctively imagine this because the palm branch is what we would call a solar symbol. And solar symbols began in ancient times as representations of the eternal, unending sun that gave life to all. Like other solar symbols, the palm tree is kind of bold and represents strong characteristics like truth and honor, victory, and valor. In various religious traditions, including Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, palm branches hold a significant symbolism still today. They're often used in ceremonies and rituals to signify triumphant success and renewal, cleansing, and spiritual awakening. In Judaism, the palm branches are used as a waving ceremony during the festival of Sukkot, which together they use citron, myrtle, and willow, and they wave the palm branches around in the four directions of north, east, south, and west to symbolize this unity of creation and abundance of God's blessing. This ritual kind of serves as a reminder of the cycle of nature, of life and death and rebirth. In the Kabbalah, it shows the palm tree as an icon of all of Judea after Moses and the Exodus from Egypt. In this story, Moses frees the Jews who had been kept in slavery by the Egyptian Pharaoh. And this story kind of inspires us to triumph over adversity and remember our inner strength to fight the good fight until we prevail, really. In Hinduism and Buddhism, the palm leaves have been used for writing texts and scripts on, sacred texts and sacred symbols. And this kind of symbolizes eternal wisdom and spiritual enlightenment contained within those branches. The act of inscribing these texts on palm leaves kind of represents the transformation and transmission of knowledge from one generation to the next and the enduring legacy of faith. I recently also learned that palm branches are used in the process of making shellac. We can Google that later. And then the majority of you are probably most familiar with the Christian use of palms. In this tradition, Palm Sunday marks the beginning of Holy Week, and it commemorates Jesus or Yeshua's triumphant entry into Jerusalem, where he'll be greeted with palm branches that are waved and laid before him. And it reminds us that even in the face of suffering and persecution, there is hope for redemption and new life. Also in the Catholic Church, these palm branches from Palm Sunday are burned afterward, and they're used on the following Ash Wednesday. These ashes kind of remind me of the phoenix as well, and the image of the phoenix. The phoenix resonates really deeply with the human experience and within me personally. Across several Asian cultures, palm branches are valued symbols of renewal and are deemed as the holder of the phoenix's nest, because the phoenix makes its nest out of palm branches. This dull, practically unnoticeable mythological bird consumed by fire then rises anew from its own ashes, full of brilliant colors and life. It represents resilience, transformation, and triumph over the spirit of adversity. Just as the phoenix emerges from the flames stronger and more vibrant than ever, so too can we rise above our own challenges and find new life and purpose. The phoenix teaches us that even in the depths of despair, when we think that all is lost, there's always hope. Life is full of challenges and setbacks. We may face a lot of hardships, failures, and even moments of despair that leave us feeling broken and defeated. But it's during these darkest moments that we really find our true strength. It's revealed to us through spirit. It's when we are at our lowest that we have the opportunity to rise again, stronger, more resilient than ever before. So, how can we apply the lesson of the phoenix and the symbol of the palm branches to our own lives? Well, first and foremost, we have to embrace the inevitability of change and transformation. Change is constant. Just as the phoenix undergoes the process of destruction, renewal, and emerging from the ashes of its former self, we can emerge from our struggles, renewed, revitalized, and willing to let go of the old to make way for the new. We can do this by what I like to call the allowing. In some practices of meditation, we sit still, our spine erect, not moving, even if we have an itch, or we have discomfort in our back, our hips, or our knees, or our feet fall asleep. You just simply allow the body to be in the discomfort. So, at first, this is excruciating, but as you practice this more and more, and as time passes, and we practice this, we open ourselves up to longer and longer moments of stillness and meditation, and our practice becomes beautiful. But let's admit it, most of the time, we want to get out of the uncomfortable situations. Get me out of this financial setback. Get me out of this depression. Get me out of this chronic pain. Get me out of this sickness. Get me out of making this difficult decision that I don't want to make. Get me out. Most of the time, we set intentions and set our prayers for our pain and discomfort to be taken away. So this practice allows us to invite in the discomfort, to feel it fully and make us better. And just as we see Yeshua or Jesus walk into the town surrounded by joyous people, waving their palm branches and exalting him, even though he knew in a few days those same people were going to crucify him, he asked God, "Take this cup from me," but only if he's willing to. And then Yeshua invited God in to his discomfort and in to his darkest hour. This doesn't have to be our faith to take this message home. Is there anything more powerful than inviting the divine into our hearts when we're at our weakest moment, instead of trying to push away the pain and try to get rid of it? I don't think so. And secondly, we need to cultivate resilience and perseverance in the face of adversity. Life is going to be full of challenges and setbacks, but it's our response to them that defines us. like a sturdy palm tree that kind of bends, but it doesn't break in the face of a storm. We have to stand firm in our connection to the divine and trust that better days are ahead. I know we get afraid to do things that maybe we've never done before, afraid to make change, afraid to face adversity. But the universe is full of love, not fear. And by inviting the divine creation into our hearts during our storms, it allows us to outlast any situation or challenge, because creation's plans and the universal consciousness and energy are perfect, even if we can't understand what spirit understands. I know that sometimes the great mystery doesn't do things in our timetable, and that things take longer than we expect them, if they happen at all. I also know that rising from the ashes is not easy. I have personally seen this in my own life. Being a sick kid, then losing what I thought was going to be a dream job as a firefighter and EMT because I got a bone disease that left me in a wheelchair before I then had to have 2 hip replacements at 25. As I still deal with chronic pain. But as angry as I was at the time, and as much as I didn't understand it, the universe had such amazing plans for me, forging me in fire. I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for this pressure. Diamonds are made under pressure. And as you all know, my favorite saying, that the lotus flower can't bloom without being rooted in the mud and the muck. I know I got to say it every time. But if we were delivered out of pain and anxiety and discomfort and uncomfortable situations instantly or every single time, we would never reach our highest potential. The divine works in the trouble, in the discomfort. And going through things many of us have been through requires courage and perseverance and hope. And as the Inspirational Foundation, one of my favorite foundations, Sweethearts and Heroes, always say, hope stands for hold on, possibilities exist. But doing this requires us to face our fears, confront our inner shadows, confront our pain, and embrace it. It requires us to let go of the past and embrace the possibilities of a future. When we face our fears, we send out a vibrational energy that we are ready to heal. And we're ready for all the good things that the universe has to offer us. I was just reading the other day that a university did a study that usually like 90% of things we sit in fear and worry about never actually come true. 90%. And this may sound harsh, but if you lose your job, you lose your job. So what? You're going to find another one. I promise. I have confidence that you will find another one. If you go to some event that you've been worrying about all week long or all month long and it all falls apart into disaster, okay, so what? Pick yourself up. You'll move on and everything will be okay. Each time you worry about something, you allow a scenario to play out and then just allow yourself to sit in the discomfort. Play it out in your head, sit in the discomfort and say, so what? But so much energy is wasted on long-term and short-term fears that we stop living in the present moment. We're not living in the now. And that's what darkness wants. Darkness wants to feed on darkness. Negative energy needs to feed on negative energy. But say, so what? Be in the present. The present moment is where divine love is active and full of possibilities. I hear so many people ask me and say to me, my life is so broken, I don't even know how to put all the pieces back together. But I say, when a sculptor takes a block of stone and begins to chip away at this stone to make a beautiful statue, he chips away at the stone and chips away at the stone, and he makes a pile of all the stone that isn't needed to reveal this masterpiece, this beautiful sculpture. Those pieces aren't needed anymore. So the divine is sculpting us into our purposeful lives. We're meant to flourish. Even if we don't see it right away, we need to hold on and trust that we're being chipped away at to make this masterpiece. What those people in Jerusalem waving their palm branches were doing all those years ago was holding on to hope. And we can't lose sight of the power of hope. Even in our darkest moments, there is always possibility of new beginnings and second chances. By holding on and trusting our higher purpose, we can overcome even the most daunting obstacles. As we reflect on the symbolism of the phoenix and the palm branches, let us be inspired to rise from the ashes from our past, to embrace the triumph of the human spirit, and to walk boldly into the future filled with hope and promise. The palm tree welcomes us home to where our soul can rest in the embrace of divine comfort, where we can let go of all of our worries and fall at the feet of our greater purpose and trust that we will be led to the place where we could never take ourselves. We need to be guided by our soul's authentic purpose, knowing anything is possible as we rise from the ashes, renewed, vibrant. May we all carry our palms high in hope and be like the phoenix, soaring high on wings of love and light. Let's just end today by centering ourselves, taking a nice big deep breath in, exhaling, and being in the present moment. As we can close, I'll put the words up on the screen for you with the prayer of the divine, if you'd like to join me. O radiant one, you shine. Focus your light within us and make it useful. Allow our hearts to tune to your name. Create your reign of unity now. Your desire then acts within our hearts. As in all light, so in all forms. Produce within our souls your holy wisdom each day and loosen the cords of mistakes binding us as we release the strands we hold of guilt. Let us not be deceived by the illusions of this world, but rather lead us to walk your path with joy. From you is born all power and life, the song that beautifies all from age to age. May the power in these words be the ground from which all of our actions grow. Amen. Everybody have a wonderful day. Be careful shoveling yourself out, and we'll see you soon in person.